Guys, we're at GDC checking out EarthCore. It's a CCG that we've already posted about in the past, but this is the first gameplay demo that we're getting. So, how does this all work?
Yeah, it's a pretty big CCG. As I mentioned to you, 18 months of development, 40 people, and few iterations until we found a gameplay that really rocks.
Right.
So that's what you see is something in terms of mechanics that has never existed before on CCG. So we're bringing something totally fresh. And on the top of that, the one killing feature is the card crafting. So basically, we are giving freedom to players and let them create their own cards.
Cool.
So if you played any other CCGs, you know that you are always limited to a certain number of cards, and here you can create your own.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we have here, you can take a look how it. I won't comment much on a design. Most people like it. It's much different than most games. Lots of small touches that you will discover, as you play. It's iOS only. It's Unity, but it's heavily optimized for iOS at the moment.
Okay.
It's iPad first, but also iPhone. And and let's dive in. So I show you the game mechanics. So that's the adventure mode. We have a pretty big PvP mode, which is League of Legends-like.
Oh, cool.
I'll show you in a moment, but let's go into the mechanics first. That's a pretty robust, story-driven single-player.
Okay.
We have lots of chapters. Each of them contains a different part of the story.
Okay.
You'll find some, a Game of Thrones-like story-driven campaign with some even politics, some even social, tackling on some social aspects like slavery or child abuse. We have pretty deep story here for those who want to engage into that. If not, you can just focus on the mechanics. So yeah, here's the story. You can read it or not, depending on what you like. Yeah. So I just dive into one of the missions to show you what are the rules. So that's your initial hand. I will just remove cards I don't want. Right. So the rules are different here. The basic rule is based on the elements and the rock, paper, scissors. So this is fire, the red one. The green one is the nature, and there is also a blue one, the water. And water will always extinguish fire. Nature will always absorb water, and water will always extinguish fire. Fire will always burn nature.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a very basic mechanics that everyone can try. But then there are skills kicking in. So basically, each card has a skill, and there are about 100 different skills in this game that you will later on be able to use in crafting to create custom cards. But for now, you can use one skill per turn until all cards are resolved, and then there's a battle.
Okay.
The battle gets resolved. So here I have a skill that lets me, if I win over this card, and it looks like I will do because nature absorbs water, then I will. It looks like I'm going to win unless he does something else to escape from this difficult situation for him. Okay. In addition, I have a skill. I can deal additional damage if I win, so I use it. Yeah, and it's.
Why don't you record this with your phone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, and we continue playing. So. Yeah, he knew he will lose, so he used his skill. This is a rat, so he escaped. So. The basic rules are about elemental battles. Here I'm going to lose, but that also means that having a stronger card doesn't mean that you will win over a weaker card.
Okay.
So that's where the skill element kicks in, and this is esports game. We want it to be, League of Legends for cards, basically.
Okay.
And the game has some pretty good depth to, so hopefully it will make to the point. And contrary to to Hearthstone and all the others, we simplified in a good way, I think, the mechanics. So we don't have mana, we don't have attack points, shield points, or defense points. Instead, we have a risk-based mechanics.
Okay.
So the number in the middle is a risk. So you can play well, maybe in other words, the better the card, so the better the skill it has, the higher its risk.
Okay.
So you can play this card, it has 9 risk, or this one, it has 8. But if I'm going to lose this card in elemental battles, in case he puts fire here, I will lose the 8. So that's why it's called the risk, because it's a wager. The better the card, the higher the number. But if I'm losing the elemental duel, this is going to hurt me.
Okay.
Okay. So here it looks like I'm going to lose in this column, but I can still use the skill. I'm sacrificing this card; it will turn to dust. But actually, I can change any of these cards to earth. So I'm going to change this one. So this one wins over water because it absorbs water.
Okay.
So it's like chess, where different pieces have different skills and do different things, and your goal is to outsmart the opponent with tools. And tools are cards.
Okay.
And you collect cards to increase your tools.
So can you show me how the crafting mechanic works?
Yeah, sure. I just resolved the battle. Yeah, he escaped again. He knew that he will lose, so actually he minimized his risk to 2 by using the rat skill.
Yeah.
And now it's a battle. He's losing 2. And in addition, I use a skill, so I deal additional damage. Now I'm dealing 4 because the middle column has a risk multiplier on it. And here I lost, so I'm losing 8. So the middle column, just to wrap up the gameplay, is very strategically important because this is the risk multiplier pointing to my direction this time. It means that if I lose here in this column right now, I will lose not 8 but 16.
Okay.
And the other round it reverses, so I will be able to deal him double damage.
Okay.
Okay. So I need to be careful here. It wasn't a good idea for me to place a card at first here, but yeah. Anyway. I just wrap it up. Yeah, here I had a passive skill with a trap, so I deal the damage before he plays the card. All right, so let's just resolve that. Yeah, so here I'm losing, and unfortunately I get double damage, so 16. And of course, who gets to 0 loses the battle.
Right.
All right, so the game is very, very skill based, and the promise behind the game and the biggest selling point that we have is that there will be never something like a winning deck in this game. Why? Because when you play with others, when you battle others, you earn gold. You, of course, as in every CCG, spend gold by buying booster packs. So, I go and buy a booster pack, which you can bought for such currency. So this is free to play, but very ethic. I mean, this is really free to play. You don't have to spend money unless you want to. Okay. And spending money will not give you an advantage. You can have the best cards, and because of it's skill based, you will still be, losing everything. Okay. So money doesn't buy you anything, any victory guarantee or anything. So you just open it like a regular booster. You get cards, you can, see what they are. Of course, there are different rarities, and these are the paper cards. The rarer the card, the better the skill it has. So this one is bronze card, but actually this skill lets me swap cards with opponents. So I can basically steal the card from him in a battle. This is pretty powerful. Yeah. But at the same time, the risk is higher, so I need to be pretty careful playing this card, because if I lose it, if it loses the battle, then I'm going to hit 12 points. Yeah. So that's why it's a very self-balancing to some aspect, because of the risk. Yeah, that's cool. So now, when I have lots of cards, and the game makes sure that you as a player have lots of cards and lots of booster packs, there is another layer kicking in, which is crafting. So most card games end here. In our case, that's just the beginning. Yeah. So you go to your card collection, and you try out different skills, you test them in a battle, and after some time, you know what are the most powerful skill that fit your tactics.
Right.
We have faction cards, so we have 3 factions. So there's another, layer of possibilities here. But later on, what you can do is that you can collect hero cards, and unlike those which are called the record cards, hero cards cannot have multiple copies. Those can. I have 12 copies of this card, but heroes are only 20 for the entire game.
Okay.
Half of them, approximately 10, is in booster packs. They are very rare, but the other half is guaranteed as you level up, as a level up rewards.
Okay.
So we give you hero cards, and what you can do with them is you can figure out what you think is the perfect combination of skills that could be very synergic when placed on a single card. So what we're giving you is that we're giving you a possibility to create your new card by combining different skills of different cards together on a single card.
Okay.
And you go and test it in a battle. So yeah, I just take a hero that's fully crafted, and the first thing I'm going to do, because I have lots of cards here, I'm first going to decraft the hero. So if you think that the combination that you made is not, actually not performing well in gameplay, you can decraft it and install it all over again. So because there are only 20 heroes, it doesn't mean that you will have 500,000 cards in your collection.
Right.
That would be a mind-blowing, But there are 500,000 possible combinations. So 500,000 possible cards that you can make using 20 hero cards.
Cool.
So what I do, I go and craft. So this one has a skill, one skill predefined on it. There are also some naked heroes without any skills. So let's say I want to, that by the way gives me additional activation for fire cards, so I can use 2 skills in a turn. So I figure out that a good combo would be, to add, a leap skill, for example, which lets me move to the other slot if it's empty. So a bit like avoid dangerous situation. So let's say I think that this is synergic. So what I'm going to need 4 copies of this card.
Okay.
So I first need to get lots of, boosters.
Right.
But that means that I have to play some time, because that's a gold card, so it's rare.
Right.
But when I have those, I can sacrifice them and sacrifice 4 copies of this card to make 1 hero which has this skill.
Okay.
The risk is increasing as the card gets more powerful.
Yeah.
But you know what you get, and there's no gacha here.
Okay.
You can come up with a perfect idea for a perfect card and get to the point when you'll be able to make it.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
So that costs cards, that costs some little gold, and that's the only place in the game where we have time.
Okay.
So you'll have to wait a moment for that. I'm an advanced player, so I'm waiting a lot, but I can speed it up, and this is how we make money.
Right. Okay.
But that's the only element which is real-time based, because it's so powerful. So I have this card, and I can go and test it in a battle.
Cool.
If it's performing well for me, I may want to add it and craft it again with another skill. So I have 3 on my card. So this one deals instant damage, but again, the risk will increase. So I need to be careful playing this. If I lose it, then I'm losing 17. If I lose it on a double in the middle column, I'm losing 24, and it's game over.
Right.
Almost. So this is why we call it a bit like a Minecraft for cars or something like this. But this is this has some pretty good depth attached to it, and we hope that, and we are pretty sure that the players will, especially those in the higher leagues, will constantly craft and decraft, looking for optimal skill combinations. And that's why we say that there is no winning deck formula in this game, because there will be always someone a bit smarter than you tomorrow who will come up with a better combination that will basically kick you in a battle and outsmart you.
Cool.
Yeah. So when you think you're ready, you just go to just place a card, one was missing. You can go to Arena, and you have pretty serious PvP, which has 3 modes. This is what I call the League of Legends-like mode, with leagues and divisions and a very transparent rule. So this is elo based, where players compete for MMR points, so they can advance to higher leagues. We support winning streaks, and it's an esports type of game in this section. And you can advance to higher leagues. The last one, Masters League, is just top 300 global players competing for those spots.
Okay.
If you just want to test your deck, you go to casual, you play with random players that are matched using your skill. So this is skill-based matching. And of course you have a friends mode, so if you want to play with a buddy, he will get a push notification and he can show up online.
Cool. Well, so it's neat. When do you see yourself launching this worldwide?
Well, actually we're finishing up. The game is soft launch in Canada, and we just added Netherlands to soft launch, and if everything goes well, we'll launch it on 19th of March, so not too far from now. There's also a possibility that we'll extend the soft launch still, so then probably not later than in 2 months this will be out for both iPad and iPhone.
Cool. Well, thanks for showing us. It's really neat. Looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, we hope this will provide some. And we actually designed the game to live for a decade. And that's how it's designed. So that's why 40 people, 18 months, and a big bet. But this is something for here to stay. That's what we have.
Cool. Well, thanks for showing me.